This podcast is sponsored by Masterclass, and if you feel that your brain power just isn't quite what it used to be, I feel you. So I strongly encourage you to join me with Masterclass's latest 3-part series on brain health. And right now, our Fitish listeners are getting 15% off a Masterclass annual subscription when you go to masterclass.com/Fitish. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/Fitish.
Yay Networks.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. I'm Jenna, and sitting next to me, you may know him as Francisco, but now I like to know him as the guy that eats bugs but thinks chicken wings are the most disgusting food ever created.
Yeah. No, the thing is that you're absolutely right. I don't think wings are the absolutely most disgusting things ever created. Not at all.
Okay.
I really think that they don't pan out. Like the ROI is not there. You know, it's a lot of effort. It's like crawfish.
But eating a 1 millimeter cricket, it pans out.
Yeah, you don't have to skin it. You don't have to peek to it. You just grab it like peanuts and put it in your mouth.
Yummy. Yes. So
Remy thinks so.
I try them every time we go and they're available, or you insist that I try them. I used to tell Fran when we started dating, like, I'll try anything once, but don't bother me about doing it again. I mean, at least I'd fucking try it once, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people would be like, no way I'm eating those bugs, but I try it
Love conquers it all.
I try it every time he asks me to try it. And I just can't get down with it. I've had ants, I've had crickets, and they taste like dirt. Like I taste their little insect lives, I just don't like it. And it's not even the knowing what it is. Like I can kind of get my mind over that, like the texture thing and knowing that I'm eating a bug. I can get like halfway there. They taste gross to me. They're like like I'd rather just eat chips that have salt on them. But I get it. Yeah. So Fran and Remy were munching some this weekend. We had quite an adventurous, I should say more like an adventure and drama-filled weekend this past weekend, and I appreciate those of you that have reached out about all of your mom fails. I
think that should be the motto of the podcast. Adventurous and dramatic podcast. Life of
Wow.
Jenna, Remy, and Franny.
Well said. Yeah. But I don't want, I want adventure filled. I don't want dramatic.
I
mean,
agree.
We moved here because we don't want the drama, but Remy fell on Friday kind of late and cracked his chin open. And these are those moments as parents, right? And Remy's toddlering. Like he's definitely toddlering. He handled it really well. He was tired. I got the bleeding to stop. And after a few minutes, and then Fran, you kind of have that moment as parents that you go, do we go to the hospital? Also, we live quite far from the hospital. We live, there's one in town, but like if we were really to take him for a more serious emergency, it's over an hour away. And it was late at night, and I'm Googling, like, how do you know if you need stitches? Because we've already learned that the face bleeds, right? The head, anything on the head is gonna bleed more, and it's just gonna look more dramatic and traumatic. And I was reading that if bleeding stops on a cut within a few minutes, like if you're able to get the bleeding to stop, you might be okay. It was dark. Fran was like ready to book a flight to Dallas. I didn't know how severe it was or wasn't, but Remy just wanted to go to sleep, so.
Yeah, like, hear me out. Like, I wasn't booking the flight, I just was putting it on hold.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I haven't gotten to that part of the story yet because I think it's hilarious. Okay, bring it back just for a second. We decided, or I kind of pushed Fran, and maybe you have relationships that are like this. I always thought I would be more the Fran as a parent, and that Fran would definitely be more how I am, or even more relaxed than I am. Because he's a thrill seeker. I mean, you're adventurous. You like to do death-defying shit. And then you have a kid, and I swear, like, he would keep Remy in a bubble if possible. And so it's just funny because, it's not funny at times like that, but I find, friends like basically crying, screaming, like, no, Remy, oh no. And I'm like the one trying, even though deep down I'm freaking out, but I'm trying to be the one that's like, it's okay. Just like with that emergency when the paramedics came that day, I'm like, you got to keep it calm. He's going to be okay. It's fine. Even though like I'm not 100% sure it's going to be fine, but I'm like, one of us has to be a little more chill about it. So anyway, he sleeps, he wakes up like, yeah. Fran, of course, first thing in the morning takes him to the ER, down the street. And the doctor cleans out the wound and is like, yeah, if you had brought him in, you probably could have used a few stitches, but now it's too late to do the stitches. So just keep it clean. It'll heal. Luckily, I think it's healing. I think it's okay. He, of course, is fine, right? Like Remy through all of this is like, no big deal, no bruises. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, I think back to when he fell and cut his eye. Such an innocuous fall when he had first started walking. He was right at my feet. I felt awful. That did require stitches. And that experience was so traumatic for him. He remembered it for a while. Like when he went to get ear tubes and everything, he remembered the stitches. And they said that he wouldn't. But I mean, we had to pin him down.
He said that's the most idiotic thing that someone can say. Oh, they won't remember that, or they won't remember this. How do we know?
I think they mean like when he's 10 years old, he's not going to actually remember getting stitches, but he definitely remembered it. And so I don't know, I guess you feel as a parent like, I don't want to put him through this trauma of going to the emergency room in the middle of the night and getting, stitches if you could get away with not, right? And anyway, so we didn't go. He's okay. Of course, then we were racked with guilt the rest of the weekend about it. And so we were thinking, what do? We live on the beach. He can't go swimming for like a few days or a week. And that's what we do every single day. We go to the pool or the beach. So we did what any normal parent would do that's feeling guilty. And we went on a toy shopping spree, which completely contradicts our minimalist lifestyle. So anyway, that's what we did. But but go ahead and tell him what you were doing.
Which part?
When I looked over in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah. I was putting 3 tickets. Some kind like that. I wasn't able to just go by myself. $2 just in case I see something abnormal during the night because, of course, I didn't sleep throughout the night. And yes, if I'm going to have my kid go through MRIs, CAT scans, and all that, because I don't know the hospitals here all that well, I know the ones out there. So I was about to put him in a plane, take him to Dallas, and get all that done down there.
I'm on my phone.
And I did put the flights on hold just in case we needed them.
I was on my phone Googling cuts and like the size of the cut, the depth of the cut, does it need stitches? Then it got me into Googling some other medically leaning things for him. And then I look over at Fran. I see Fran on his phone. Neither of us slept most of the night because we wanted to make sure he was okay. I mean, we knew he didn't have a head injury or anything like that. So, and he wasn't or a broken bone, but
I didn't know.
But Fran, I see Fran like on the American Airlines like website, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm booking his flights to Dallas for tomorrow morning so we can take him to get a CAT scan." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Rein it in, rein it in. Like, let's moment by moment. We're gonna be okay. Let's take him to the doctor down the street in the morning, and if they recommend something like that, then we can go from there." I was like, rein it in. So Fran gets super anxious, but of course Remy's been like, fine. The next day he was actually like in a better mood than he's been in a while, of course, because that's how kids are, right? And then Fran and I still just shudder at the wound and the thought of what happens. But damn, being a parent is hard, isn't it? Like just making these medical decisions sometimes, because I don't want to be the parent that goes to the ER every second, because I find the ER to be, frankly, like here at least it's not as expensive, but like it's just a whole thing, right? Like you're in for like an 8-hour adventure.
But not
most
in
of the
that.
time.
That's only an ER experience in the US. An ER
Right.
experience in Mexico is a completely different deal.
But fortunately, he's doing all right. So that brings us to our highs and lows of the week. We like giving these to you off the cuff, as natural as we're experiencing them. Truthfully, that's not even my like high or
Where's
low
the
of
wedding?
the week.
Are you running to a wedding after this? Because you look so awfully elegant today. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Have you lost weight?
Marley Spoon is a new sponsor of the Fitish podcast, and I've been really excited about this meal service because I've just had issues with other ones, if I'm being totally honest. And there's so much variety with Marley Spoon. Mainly the fact that I really struggle to cook vegan options, and I'm by no means a vegan. We love meat in this household. We love our proteins. However, I do like to eat vegan style and have kind of, more salad style options on hand because frankly, it's lighter and healthier, especially during the summertime. And Marley Spoon just seems to have a great array of options for that sort of thing. Something else I love about Marley Spoon is it's not just picking and planning your few meals of the week. They also have a whole lot of, groceries and products to choose from to add to your order. So, if you want to kind of do a grocery haul along with some of the meal planning, you can do that as well. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite meals that I've actually tried has been the vegan burrito bowl. Like, I would have never known how to make a vegan burrito bowl, at least not one that tasted very good. Marley Spoon makes it so easy. And just like you would expect, you're getting these things delivered. You can choose based on the size of your family and what your meal preferences are. We've really enjoyed it. So experience the most personalized meal kit today with Marley Spoon. Head to marleyspoon.com/offer/Fitish and use the code Fitish for up to 25 free meals. That's right, up to 25 free meals with Marley Spoon. One last time, that's marleyspoon.com/offer/Fitish for up to 25 free meals. And make sure you use our promo code Fitish so they know that I sent you. I wasn't going to go there. But you went there. I wasn't going to go there because we got such a mix of commentary of people defending you, saying you were just in your own way trying to say I was beautiful. And then, of course, other people doing the hand on the head like Fran. Like, voluptuous and fertile. Calling me fertile and voluptuous is not what I want to look like.
It's the goal of every woman since the early days of human.
How do you speak for women? It's the goal of every woman. How do you speak for women when you have a fucking penis?
Because I have surveyed this.
I mean, you literally are about to give a nip slip to the camera today.
You're welcome. So, I really think that men are inclined
You don't
to
have to
give
yell at everyone.
less compliments because of the debacle that I got into last week.
We're going there again today?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't even brought it up.
But anyhow, I was trying to pay a compliment.
Okay. So that's like me telling you like, wow, have you gained a little bit of weight? You're filling out your pants nicely. They look good.
That looks like passive aggressiveness because...
How? You're filling out your pants better than normal.
Yeah, well, maybe...
I like it, I mean, I think like all men are striving to look bigger. So,
I can get on board that. I get like, if that's the trend, I'm ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you're filling out those jeans nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you noticed. I'm glad.
Yeah, and you feel good about it.
I feel amazing about it now. I wasn't feeling all that amazing like when I put the pants on, but now that I got complimented...
That's why you haven't let a carb cross your lips in a few weeks, or what?
No, I haven't let a carb cross my lips. What are you talking about? I eat the entire pantry every night.
Last night, you said to me, what did you say to me?
I don't know.
You do know, and you fucking know. You know exactly what you said to me last night. Your favorite quote about carbs.
Oh, I didn't say that to you. I was telling Remy about it. I told him, like, a second in your lips, a lifetime in your hips.
I just need a moment. Sometimes it's just about taking a moment. Highs and lows of the week. I think like that just like met my low. No.
High five to myself. I like to make your week.
You're in a very like
this.
Maui mood today.
Well, that's the shirt.
Yeah.
The hair, the butt.
Yeah.
Not the butt.
Okay, give me your high of recent.
My high. I really think my highs have been every evening with you all. Like going to the beach has been great. We found an amazing little beach that has these little pools And just these little experiences have been my high.
My high of the week is that I ordered the skeleton from Home Depot and it's on the way to be delivered. No. My
Yeah, that is
high,
your high.
okay,
That is your high. That
that's
is
my
your high.
high. You know what? Now that you say it, evenings, this is something really cool. The other night, I like to ask Remy questions that he may not even know how to comprehend, because I read a long time ago, if you talk to your kid repeatedly at night and you ask them stuff, they may not understand it, but then they will. You know, they may not understand how to respond to it or what you're saying. So I've actually been doing this for a while, and it wasn't until the other night that I got like a quite succinct response from him. But for a long time now, whether you know it or not, I used to do this even when we were back in Dallas. I'm like rocking him to sleep or, you know, hanging out with him, whatever. I would ask him, hey, Remy, what was your favorite part of the day? And I also read that for parents with kids in school, by the way, this is a really, and I'm no expert, obviously, but it's a really nice thing to do, because a lot of times you pick up your kid from school and you're like, how was school? And they're like, fine, whatever, you know? But if you ask them more specific questions, like what was your favorite part of the day, they can't just say fine, okay, good, bad, whatever. They have to kind of come up with an answer. So anyway, as a conversation starter, y'all know I like to conversate, I ask Remy all the time, and he's never really said a lot. I usually will go through his day with him and say, okay, do you want me to tell you everything you did today? And I'll start with, you know, what he had for breakfast and what we did and on and on. And so the other night when we were putting him to bed, you know, Fran and I are usually like a pretty good tag team at bedtime with him, even though he wants Fran to put him down. But lately, since he's been sleeping with us and we've been waiting on his bed, he wants us in there together. So as I'm kind of dressing him for bed, I'm doing the whole, what was your favorite part of the day? And he's kind of like, And I go through his day and he does not respond. He doesn't say anything. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, you know. So like 20 minutes later, we're both laying in bed talking to him going to sleep. And he goes, Mama, this my day favorite part. And Fran and I were both like, oh, like you just jumbled it up. But he was basically telling us that like his favorite part of the day was getting in bed together and going to sleep. And it made me think about, oh, that just, for me, that was like not just the high of the week, but that's kind of been one of my favorite moments I've had. Really, I know it's such a small thing, but that moment where they start to communicate a little more, and then to say something so much later about something I was asking him about, he really understood and he was really thinking about it. And that's so cool. I just really, really loved it. Okay, now the low. What's your low of the week?
Well, that goes without saying. My low of the week.
How about we take a quick break, hear from a couple of the Fitish sponsors, and then we're going to come back and talk about our lows of the week and some more interesting things we've learned since living abroad for the last 3 months. We'll be right back. This podcast is sponsored by Masterclass, and I have been on a bit of a personal journey challenge. As you all know, I have moved to Mexico in an effort to really reinvent my life and my family's life. And I recently decided to embark on this personal challenge when Masterclass, this amazing platform, they launched a 3-part series on brain health. And, you know, I just turned 40 a couple months ago. My mom brain is still mom braining. And I am just not as sharp as I used to be. And this series was so enlightening for me in so many ways, because I think that so many of us want to make changes, but it can feel so daunting because we're not, you know, don't have the bandwidth and the time to do a hard exercise class every day and to do, you know, to necessarily become fluent in a language overnight or something like that. But this 3-part series was really enlightening for me without giving too much away, because I want y'all to go check it out. But they really focus on these tangible, simple additions to your life. And it's not daunting. You can do it, especially if you just resolve to be slightly more committed to improving your own brain health. And I'm talking about things as simple as just, you know, really upping that daily water intake, trying to learn a new skill or a hobby. I went to a pottery class last week. So nice, because in a way, you know, I'm improving my mental health, you know, by kind of bettering myself and learning a new skill. And I wasn't on my phone. I was using my hands. I was making myself a cup that then I can drink out of when I'm reading, when I'm learning Spanish, when I'm doing all of these other things. And I've been trying to focus more on, you know, meditation, even if it's as simple as kind of taking a walk along the beach. So anyway, I feel so great about the place that this little personal growth challenge has gotten me in the last few weeks. I know that you are going to love not just this series that Masterclass is offering on brain health, but they have so many other great lessons on this platform. In the past, I've taken a class from Annie Leibovitz, the famed photographer, who is just, doling out incredible tips to help you improve your own photography. Or if there's any other skills you're interested in learning, join me, do a little brain health challenge with Masterclass, and then pick and choose what other episodes you want to watch. It's so amazing. Go to masterclass.com/Fitish. That's masterclass.com/Fitish to get 15% off an annual subscription. Again, that's masterclass.com/Fitish. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What are some of your self-care non-negotiables? Today on the show, I'm going to be speaking about a friend of mine that's been having some issues because motherhood, gosh, aren't we just drowning in the day-to-day? This was a huge reason that in terms of self-care that Francisco and I made the decision to move abroad and try and live a more slowish lifestyle because frankly, it's almost impossible to manage it. And if you feel that you've been struggling with just the mental load, I always say to moms, it's kind of all that silent work that we're doing that frankly is even more work than the hands-on stuff with the kids. You can just feel, as my friend told me, that she can barely come up for air. She feels like a terrible mom. Y'all, use BetterHelp because getting some really tangible therapy advice can just be life-changing. And BetterHelp makes it so easy. And you say, I don't have the time. I'm a busy mom. I totally feel you. So does BetterHelp. You can figure it out when they're at school or when they're napping. You can have a short therapy session. They will match you with a therapist. You can change therapists if it's not working for you at any given time. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. You need an expert. You don't just need to unload on your other mom friends or on your partner. You need an expert who went to school for this sort of thing that is authorized to give you great mental health advice and some tips that you can implement into your day-to-day life. Never skip a therapy day. Go to betterhelp.com/Fitish to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Fitish for 10% off your first month. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about we like to do our highs and lows of the week. So what was your low of the week?
My low of the week, I'm sorry, I just got it. It has been that we found a bed for Remy, I'm threading,
That's your low?
Yeah. Because now he's going to sleep on his own. Who's going to be my cuddle buddy?
Unhealthy.
You're on your corner. You're not a cuddle buddy. You're just in the corner of the bed. You don't like to cuddle?
I like to cuddle until I'm asleep and then don't fucking touch me. I get like a kick in the ribs and I'm like, and then sometimes I wake up.
From Remy or from me?
From Remy. Sometimes I wake up and he's standing up, staring at me like he's about to do a WWE move on my head. It is terrifying. I am terrified of him in the middle of the night. It's like Michael Myers. He's Michael Myersing in the middle of the night, standing there staring. I open my eyes sometimes and he's standing there, laying there staring
that
at me.
That happened once.
No, it has happened more. What are you talking about? How are you going to come at me and tell me my experience didn't happen when he sleeps in between us every single night?
I don't know, baby. You have very vivid dreams.
So your low is that we found a bed finally to get here. Because you all know that's been the difficult thing for us, right? It's just getting things here has been really hard. We ordered a bed over a month ago because he's climbing out of his crib and they cancel it when it's been out for delivery. Getting furniture and getting things here is quite difficult. So, there is that. My low has been the sticky traps that are laying around the house. Y'all don't even want to see what we find on these sticky traps. It's really hard. It's a massacre. It's a total bloodbath. We have these super strength sticky traps that we thought would be like a good diversion or something to at least catch. And we only put them in the bedroom. But I've found a handful of scorpions, right? I don't love finding scorpions, but they seem to be slightly smarter than the sticky traps for the most part. But checking the sticky traps every morning is like a surprise, like you just never quite know what you're going to find. It's just an insect, creature, critter buffet. And
it's like a Happy Meal.
I'm trying to be cool about it. Because, then it starts to go.
How many good animals have we killed?
We've killed more good than bad. So the other we've killed some scorpions, we've killed some flies, okay? But then we checked one a few days ago and it had a giant, and I'm not being dramatic, a giant wolf spider. Yeah, sure, this big. Now, you may say, good, right? No, not really good, because even though they are very creepy, you learn that they eat the scorpions, they eat the critters, they eat the flies, they eat other bugs. So you actually want the wolf spiders all around. Same with the geckos. So the wolf spider was there. I didn't know what to do with it. I let it go. It's clearly like still alive, but it's huge. And I just didn't know what to do. Like, it's dead, by the way. I mean, these things, or it will be dead. There's no way to peel this stuff off. Like, it is just
You
such,
haven't
so
killed
sticky.
it?
I didn't kill it. I left
I'm
it.
that person that if you're suffering, I'll kill you. I pay that difference to you.
God, friends, like, are you suffering, Jenna? You're on life support. You've been suffering for 30 seconds. I'll pull that plug. I won't let you suffer. Great. That's good to
No,
know.
we'll keep you plugged.
Keep this on the record for an episode of
Are you in
Snap.
coma?
What?
In this season, are you in coma or you're like,
Like comma period or?
Like you're like comatose?
Oh, in comatose. In a coma?
Uh-huh.
Comatose. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe, but I mean, how
If
long are
you're
you
in
going to give
coma,
me?
just laying there peacefully, what would I unplug you?
Oh, because I'm not bugging you about anything? Okay, hold on. You're taking away from what I found on the trap. And then I let it go, and there was like a giant gecko, which also really sucks because the geckos eat all the other stuff as well.
The geckos are super friends.
The geckos, we have a ton of geckos in the house, and like they're friends. We want them. They also eat the bad stuff and all the flies.
I think you killed little Jerry.
So we had someone over here cleaning the house, and she's so amazing because she's like, oh, I find scorpions. You know, she has an outdoor kitchen. She's like, I find scorpions like this big outside, and I just sweep them away. And I'm like, oh. So she peeled that gecko off with a knife, and that gecko dropped its tail and two fingers, I don't know what you call them, two little fingies, and ran off. So the gecko was still alive, and she managed to like slowly pry it up. The spider like lost all its legs and died, so she killed it. So anyway, that was really nice of her. I couldn't quite find it in myself to do that. I'm not ready to perform surgery on animals on a sticky pad, you know? Like, that's just not, I'm not ready. I don't think I'm ready for it. I feel awful. I don't want them to die, but.
I tried. The thing is that you're faced in a situation like that spider. That spider was pre-alive, the one that I had to kill. And if you try to help the spider, unfortunately, it's that the caged lion situation. Like, if you have a wounded animal that is like that, it's going to try to attack you before you, like, and yeah, we're not here for that. Like,
I've just refrained from sharing photos of this with y'all on social media because it is just really awful to see. You know, it is just so oogie. So that's probably that's my low of the week, or the moments with the sticky traps. But this is the thing, you know, we live somewhere where.
but now we have a kid that is gonna be the bait, that is gonna be sleeping there on its own.
I try to tell Fran to get his mind like to be more reasonable about stuff, and it's what I tell myself too, that you got to do like best worst case scenario, right? So like worst case scenario with Remy still sleeping in a bed with us when Fran like hasn't come to bed yet, or what happened the other night is like if he falls out of bed, you know, he can get really, really hurt. Well, if he's sleeping in a bed lower to the ground and a scorpion does bite him, worst case scenario, it hurts, but it's not deadly. It doesn't need any medical attention. Like he's totally fine with the scorpion bites here. They're not poisonous. It would just hurt, you know, and he'd be scared. But that's the worst case scenario there. Worst case scenario, not sleeping in that bed somewhere else is like more damaging, no? So I feel like with parenting, just my opinion again, it's like sometimes you have to play out the worst case scenario when they're doing something and be like, yeah, not ideal, but it's better than the alternative option. That's how I feel, you know?
I think you're 100% right.
And your child needs their own bed to sleep in.
I know that.
If he's sick or we're on vacation or he crawls into bed in the middle of the night, I'm fine with that, you know, but like he needs to get in the habit of like, we've really broken the sleep. And he's waking up at 5 a.m. This morning was better, almost 7 a.m., but just like, Mama, Papa, smoothie, cereals,
Bar?
bar. I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. A bar, maybe a bar. I don't know. I haven't thought about it, but I think I want like an unhealthy bar. Yeah. Toddlers, right? I have a little bit of a takeaway that I try to share with Fran, but like Fran doesn't like how much I talk. And so since y'all are listening, I thought I would share it here.
I do love how much you talk.
I really try and, because I think a lot of people listening, those of you listening and just in general, or people that kind of just watch our life from afar, I know that people are really interested in like, how are they doing? Do they like it? Like, what's the takeaway? What's the difference? And now, you know, what we're at over 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, almost 3 months.
So, yeah, almost 3 months.
Almost 3 months. So you know, it has its ups and downs. I think that there's things that you can't escape, right? I mean, anywhere. You're still going to have issues. You're going to have relationship issues. You're going to have issues, especially living somewhere new with, you know, my mom relies on us more. And I feel, you know, in a way, my mom's getting older, you know, so you're still kind of dealing with life issues, right? But I had a friend reach out to me last night and she kind of like unloaded some issues she's been having, you know, and she's a mom of 2 really little kids. And I think that, you know, she kind of disappeared for a bit and we didn't get to catch up before we moved and she was feeling bad about it. And I could tell she's like, I'm sorry for even unloading on you a bit. But I go, it's fine. I think the reality is so many of us are drowning, right? Like you just feel on a day that you're drowning. This goes back to why Fran and I wanted to get away from that and see if there was another option there. And you know, just that feeling of I don't feel like I'm a good mom and I feel that I, you know, just don't have the bandwidth to do everything every day. And something that I've really tried to like think about and put into words since being here for me, and I don't know if you feel this way, I will say I wholeheartedly feel that I'm a better mom here than I was back home. And I attribute it to this because it's like, okay, Jenna, I know if you're listening, you're like, I can't move from this busy city or wherever I live. So what kind of tangible like things can I do? And I've become like acutely aware of how I know it sounds simple that like our days are just made up of minutes, right? Like time is literally a construct of like actual minutes. And I think that I used to be, and I will speak for Fran a little bit because you're so ADD that I can see certain tasks for you get totally warped, you know, when you get on track on something else, right, with your ADD. And I think that living, for us at least, living in Dallas, you know, spending more minutes doing different things, like your whole day would be wiped away, right? Because there's more traffic. A simple running to the grocery store or running to Target or wanting to take Remy to do an outing and then or going to the office, right? Like having to go to the office or go back to the office, like your whole day is kind of thrown. So here I've just become very aware of that what you choose to do with your minutes every day can really make or break your bandwidth, like your performance as a parent or as a partner or with what you do. And so here, having less on my plate and like less to do, less self-imposed obligations, if that makes sense, right? Just, oh yeah, you know, I don't really have a lot of friends here yet. I've made a couple of mom friends, but they're all kind of in the same boat that I am, like working, momming during the day, whatever. Less errands, right? Like less of that, oh man, like right now, if I was in the States, y'all, you better believe like I'd be like going to Home Depot to look at Halloween, going to Target, all these things that are so fun. And when I lived there, I got bored of it. And now I kind of miss it and romanticize it. But again, those things aren't necessarily that important. Or a friend's like, let's go to lunch or this, right? Or this errand, or I have to do this. Or here, I don't have all those options. And in a way, it's kind of nice because I think it's really hard to say no when you're surrounded by like a lot of friends and family or a lot of people and have a lot of school obligations and stuff. But here, we don't have that. So there's just frankly not as much to do. And it's actually wonderful because my days are just more engaged with like work. And then when he's out of school, we can be much more present with him in those moments. So anyway, I mean, I think that's kind of the takeaway for me that having, you know, it takes us like 5 minutes to drive him to school, 5 minutes to go to the grocery store down a dirt road. Like it matters. Like it makes a real difference. And so I don't know, that's how I feel. So my advice to my friend was like, you need to do less. You really need to figure out a way to do less. And I think we're always racked with guilt when
And
we.
if someone can move, is that friend? Maybe you shouldn't entice her to move.
But she's really close with her mom, and she said that she was like, I would move in a heartbeat if I didn't have family.
Maybe
And
we'll get a house for her mom and your mom.
I think that's the predicament. Well, I'm not trying to solve her. I'm not trying to solve anyone's problems. I'm just trying to give them kind of the advice of what I've
I'm just
taken
trying
away.
to play chess here, trying to see how we can bring a community.
Speaking of playing chess, Fran plays chess for like 8 hours a day.
I'm gonna say 4.
You have it in your phone? You
Ah,
know
no,
exactly
no,
how many hours you play.
No, I might have played maybe 5 games a day.
Liar.
But yes, I think we should entice more people. This is an amazing experience. It has been for us. It's been fun. It's been fun to understand and learn exactly what we need, what are basics in our life, and what we don't need. And like you keep saying, Target and Home Depot is like you were going to Target and Home Depot every day.
I did.
But are those things that we do romanticize, but they're not vital. Like I'm pretty sure there's many things that we miss, but the takeaway, the upside, it's fantastic. Like,
Yeah. No, and I did go to Target every day. I really did for the most part. More out of boredom for something to do, not out of
Play chess.
necessity, Well, I was taking Remy. He wouldn't enjoy that as much.
No, he's starting to learn. I'm trying to teach him a little.
I think the point, though, is more about this perception that as a mom, like, I think I was feeling so bad back home because there was so much to do with the upkeep of like all the things in the house, and I could just never get it all done. And I don't know, I think there's this illusion that's been created for all of us that you can be this great mom and you can still like work full time and be a great partner to your husband, or and be a really involved mom and still have like some personal, and it's just not like it's just not possible. So I think once you can let go of the fact that like the house isn't always going to be clean, you can't always be a great mom and work and get everything done in a day. But if you actually have less things, and I've never been a fan of like a minimalist lifestyle, but I've been reading more about it because I'm not a minimalist necessarily, but I think on the theory of like intellectually like trying to be more of a minimalist on like a day-to-day, not literally with having less things, though that does help because you have less dishes, you have less toys, you have less to pick up. And I will say less clothing, less laundry, everything. Having less of everything makes your day-to-day much more manageable. And they say that you can actually be more productive when you have like less things, which is great. And I think I have felt that, to be quite honest. I think I've really felt that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's therapy, therapeutical. I don't always have issues with that word.
Therapeutic is therapeutic is the correct word. No, not ical.
Okay. Terapéutico. It's therapeutic. You see, it's just
that's right.
Role. To edit in your life.
Yeah.
And I think this is what we've been doing. We've been curating a new life and a life that it's been exciting. And at the beginning, I thought we were about to be more challenged as we have been. And we're only almost 90 days into, maybe 15 days shy from 90 days. So.
No one's counting.
But it has been a very pleasant surprise. It's been a pleasant surprise for Remy, seeing him evolve, finding these little friends. He comes home talking about all these names like Yuma, Luna, River, Jackie. Like there's all sorts of amazing friends that now he has.
Mm-hmm.
And see him that excited in this environment that it's so organic for his growth, I feel.
Something I wasn't expecting to miss as much as I do, and I fear that it makes me sound materialistic, is
the Charlies and the Johns of the world.
What?
I said the Charlies, the Johns, and the Susies of the world, not the Rivers,
What do you mean?
the Apples. Like, I don't know if you were missing the normal names that we used to have before.
Well, no, I said things I'm missing, not to be materialistic.
What is it?
My couch, our couch.
We have it in storage. Let's bring it.
I think I was speaking with a mom who, I think that's the hard part when you move somewhere like this, because it's just not practical to bring furniture. And it's really taught me that I didn't think I would care about all of that, but renting someone else's home long term. I miss the mattress. I miss certain furniture items, mainly a couch, let's be real. Like, I think I got rid of way too many of Remy's toys. It was nice though, because it wasn't as much to move, but now we're here and he had one small basket of toys and it just frankly wasn't enough. And I miss some of those things because now we've kind of made him a little playroom and he really needed it. You know, he really needed his own space and his little tent and his own thing to go play. And I miss having a big couch. So, I've heard from a lot of women that have moved down here, they say, yeah, things got really different once we kind of ended up, like I underestimated how much having our own furniture and our own things would kind of change, you know. So that does matter. I think it does matter to kind of have your own stuff. So yeah, I hate to admit that. I shouldn't have sold that dining table, Fran. I miss it.
We'll get another one.
It's a table. How could I miss something hard with no life and no personality that just has legs?
I don't know. You need to miss some other things. Or not miss anything at all. I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that comforting.
I miss people.
You do. I know you do.
But not things.
You miss people?
Yeah. Well.
Tell me about these people that you miss.
I didn't bring any motorcycles down yet. So I have a little bit of a motorcycle. I brought all my helmets.
3 helmets. It's ridiculous.
5. I didn't bring all my helmets. I just brought one.
He didn't allow me to bring Halloween decorations. He said they wouldn't fit. Yet he brought 5 motorcycle helmets and no motorcycles. And the motorcycle helmets are in the house. Like, why? Why?
Dirt bike. Half dirt bike, half road bike.
I understand, but I mean, why?
Chopper.
And also like bins that are full that you haven't even gone through. That
full head.
My bins of Halloween didn't make the cut.
Gear.
That's fine. You did the drive, so that's what you brought. It is what it is.
Amen.
I want to get back to like these people that you miss.
Yeah. I miss my community. Like I miss people from work, you know.
Name them. Who?
Like I miss Damon and Megan sometimes. Pretty sure they miss me sometimes also. Not all the times. I miss my friends, like, you know, my good old friend John Rash out there. I haven't seen him, I see him once a year. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see
people. Yeah, Fran misses people that he like hardly ever saw anyway, which is so funny.
But I miss them. You know, I used to miss them before. I'm still missing them now. I miss places. I miss my good old Monkey Bar, Bistro, Honor Bar.
That is so funny. I do not miss. You and I are so different in that way.
We're so different in many ways.
I do not miss certain places like that at all.
But the thing is that you don't miss them because I don't know. I cannot talk about you, but I miss them.
I can tell you why, because I met you at one of them. So why would I miss the place when I got the best thing that was in the place?
You're absolutely right in that. Like, that's a fair statement, and I completely respect that.
Follow that up.
So I do miss these places because I met you in one of these places, and the joy that overwhelmed my heart. Stop digging with your hoe. No, I had brilliant, amazing moments in these places, you know. Monkey Bar used to be my Sunday spot for years and years. We used to be in a little family before they make it like all these public commercial places.
Yeah, I don't miss getting drunk with stranger acquaintances.
There were no strangers anymore after the first 20 minutes.
Not after you slept with all of them.
I didn't sleep with all of them. There were a lot of guys. That's where I drew the line.
Lovely. Lovely. This ended on a lovely note today, didn't it?
On that note, I'm going to have to take the kiddo to the doctor. and not try to get murdered on my way out. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I got the best of Dallas, Ohio, and the US in here to Todos Santos.
Why limit me to those locations?
Because those are the ones that reflects your heritage,
Mm.
Pocahontas.
That makes sense to no one. On that note, you didn't even get to your funny story about shopping for me.
Well, we'll have to go to that story about shopping for vagina medicine.
Didn't have to give it away. We'll work on that for the next episode. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.